Hi guys, it's Kristine here, your Superstar Director, and it is Leap to Lead Day 24 already. We are going to talk about recruiting and prospecting again, and it's a little bit of a review over stuff that we've been talking about, but I'm going to actually dive into it a little bit deeper with some great tips about good and bad habits from a chapter, again, in our Be a Party Plan Superstar book by Mary Christensen. So, again, with prospecting, I've talked before about how you never want to prejudge somebody. And what we mean by that is basically letting your fear of rejection get in the way of asking absolutely everybody and making sure you offer this opportunity to as many people as you can. I think that we tell ourselves that this person won't really want to do it, and we try to pick out and decide who's most likely to say yes before we even ask because of that fear of rejection and not wanting to have to deal with that no. But what we're doing is we don't actually know who would say yes, and we also are basically the best way I ever heard it put was, how dare we keep this opportunity from somebody? I mean, we feel blessed that our sponsor offered it to us, so why wouldn't somebody else feel the same way? You know that there were hesitations that you had. There may have been things about you. Think about that. If there's things about you that your sponsor could have let get in the way and talked her out of asking you if you ever thought of doing this, you may not have had this opportunity, and you know what Scentsy has brought to your life and what it's continuing and going to bring to your life. So it's important to change your mindset from bothering to blessing people, so that you can get over that fear of rejection and make sure that you don't hold back asking, because people say that the number one reason that they don't join a party plan business is because nobody asked. It's not because they think that they can't sell, or they're too lazy, or too young, or too old. Yes, we hear those excuses or objections from people, and we definitely need to be prepared to share the opposite, like share with our prospects what sets our company apart when it comes to those objections. But it isn't why people don't join, because if you really have changed your mindset from bothering to blessing, and you know how much your company and you as a leader have to offer, then you're going to be able to meet those objections that are normal for people to say, because again, they have a fear of rejection and fear of failure, so they're saying those objections because they're trying to protect themselves from that letdown or that feeling of failure. So basically, Mary Christensen in this chapter, she says most importantly is to get rid of your bad habits, and that there are bad sponsoring habits. If there's bad sponsoring habits that are not working for you, the sooner you ditch them, the better, the sooner you'll see results with sponsoring. So bad habit number 1 is focusing on yourself too much. And this one, I mean, we want to talk about what Scentsy has done for us. Certainly when you're just planting seeds with people through your social media posts or your quick little talk at a party to bring up the opportunity, you want to talk about your story and what Scentsy has done for you. But you don't want that to be the only thing you ever talk about and to be the bulk of the conversation, because your goal is to get them to want to talk again, for you to be able to follow up, for them to ask you for more information. And if you only talk about the things that this business has done for you, you could be eliminating a whole lot of people who really don't want those things and aren't looking for those things. If you are loving the financial benefits, but somebody else is looking for a community or something that'll make them feel accomplished, they're going to go look for another company that they think is going to give that to them, because you've just talked about your company as really only being good for the financial benefits, if that makes sense. Bad habit number 2, talking about your company. This one was interesting for me, because we do talk about what sets our company apart, and the culture in Scentsy, and the owners, and the give more than you take philosophy that they really try to emulate and instill in all of us. They are one of those things that we help meet objections with, that set Scentsy apart from other opportunities out there. But that being said, she said something really cool in terms of those conversations should happen more often at the training purpose, once they've already made the decision to join. But you're really just trying to help them see that this company is going to give them the things that they care about. And I loved her example of, could you imagine if you couldn't buy a sandwich or a new shirt without being told all about the owners of the company and the whole history? So I thought that was kind of a nice way to look at it, just to help us tone it down and be careful about how much we do talk about it, because we can definitely end up looking like those crazy Scentsy people to people who just don't get it. We know that we didn't get it till we already had joined. That's why it's better to have those conversations at that time. Bad habit number 3, being predatory. Totally true. It's a very fine line. And if you act predatory, your prospects are going to act like prey, and they're going to try and look for the nearest exit to get away from you. So you need to make sure that you are, again, focusing on what problem you're solving for them, what benefit, what blessing you are giving them. Bad habit number 4 was words, being too wordy. This is something I am definitely guilty of. I struggle even with making these videos to not make them too long, because I can be a wordy person. And if you're talking too much, you're not listening, is the biggest reason that's a bad habit, because you need to be paying attention for what it is that they're looking for out of the business. Bad habit number 5, thinking prospects are doing you a favor by joining your team. And especially if you're saying that. There may be the odd, rare time that works with a really good friend. If you say, oh, I'd love it if you joined my team and I'd get points for a trip. But first of all, you shouldn't be doing that ethically. And it's not going to be sustainable, and it's not going to build you the size of team that's going to give you a sustainable and successful business. So, but this is that whole bothering to blessing. She's like, the opposite is true. Aren't you grateful to your sponsor for introducing you to the business? You should be paying it forward. I kind of already covered this one before, but basically that's what she was getting at. Bad habit number 6, seeing sponsoring in black and white terms. A no may have been closer to a yes than you think. Very few of our decisions are black and white. Mostly they fall into the gray zone. We weigh up the pros and cons before deciding one way or another. So what can tip the scales from a yes to a maybe or a no isn't that your prospects are not sold on your business, but that they're not sold on you. I've met thousands of successful party planners who said no to one person and yes to another. It was how they were approached that made the difference. So don't make the mistake of just assuming, oh, this person doesn't want the business. Maybe you just need to look at your approach a little bit different. Maybe you came on too strong. Maybe you talked too much about you. And another attempt later with this person and talking to them more about how you think that this business would be an amazing blessing to them could be the difference. Bad habit number 7, thinking that your business is right for everyone. So she says sponsoring is a process of matchmaking. The reason you talk to as many people as possible is to find a match. So when there's no match, it's not a big deal. But what if there's a match and you held back? So if you deny people the chance to take control of their life because you got stage fright or passed them by. So again, we've talked about that. But she talked about what if you're so focused on the products that you forget to offer the business. You don't give time to talk about the business. So basically, yeah, just to become a good sponsor, you have to get rid of these bad habits and replace them with good ones. Then she goes into some good habits to really focus on. So good habit number 1, opening many doors to your business. So what she's saying is having a wider target range of prospects. Not just focusing on Facebook or your friends and family or only at parties even, but trying to open many avenues to meet new people and be prospecting. Whether that's having social media and parties and doing events, but also just going to different networking things or joining classes, going to play groups. She said, obviously, moms should be your top target in this business because of that whole, she calls it a U-turn from a live to work to a work to live culture. And it's opening up opportunity for us to build teams. Moms that do work but want more family time, moms that, and people, really, this one isn't just moms, but if they're making enough money just to get by, but they can't have the extras, well, the only way you deal with that is not have the extras or try to make more money. And you have an opportunity to help them earn more money. Stay-at-home moms, which many of us were when we started, even if we don't need the money, we want the me time. We want the adult conversation time. So that is why they are very good prospects. We're better moms, we're better spouses, we're better dads when we have something for ourselves and we're not just work, house, and family all the time. So being able to know that you offer that blessing to these people and approaching people that are in those situations. People that are facing retirement too, especially if they don't necessarily have the financial readiness for it, but they're staring it in the face because they have the ability to choose how much they work with Scentsy, but also when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. So there's a lot of retired couples in Scentsy that I don't sit down and talk to them about what their financial situation had been from their retiring from being a teacher or something else, but they love what they do. So they don't feel like they're still working and not retired because they control when they work. Something I'm still trying to convince my parents of. Okay. She talks about not overlooking people who've been in the business before. Now, here's where the predatory thing comes in, and I actually had an example of this just yesterday. It is very frustrating that there are companies out there that train people to target people already successful in a direct sales company. That is a huge, huge no-no. First of all, if you're part of the DSA, Direct Sales Association, it's a big no-no to be trying to cross-promote and grab people into a different business. So this is why you have to be careful. If you do sell for more than one direct sales business, you cannot cross-promote your other business to people you've met through Scentsy and vice versa. You face losing your Scentsy business and being terminated if you do something like that, because everybody is working hard to build their business with Scentsy, and they don't need you going and contacting people that are a part of their organization that you met only because you were part of their Scentsy organization and try to steal them and poach them over to a different company. So it's a big no-no as far as ethical codes, but it's also really tacky and annoying. And I've gotten to a point where because it's happened so much in the last 8 years, I recognize the terminology, and then they don't seem authentic because I know they're just working off of a script that their upline taught them to contact somebody that's already in direct sales. And this person doesn't even, and I'm talking people that are strangers to me. Like, they send me a friend request on Facebook and start talking to me like we're old friends. I had the one yesterday was calling me hun, and I don't like to be blunt because I accept the friend request in case they are looking at learning more about Scentsy. And she jumped right in with, "How are you today, hun?" And I thought, I have no idea who you are. And I get that little spidey senses that something was up, and sure enough, she just wanted to pitch her product to me. And that's not how you do it to strangers through social media. Definitely not. You're just going to turn them off that way. And it's spammy, and it's what gives our business type a bad name, a bad rap. So, but if somebody has already left another business, you know that they liked doing direct sales. They maybe just didn't find the success that they wanted to find. Maybe it wasn't the right fit with the products. It wasn't the right training, or it just wasn't the right timing in their life. So that is why they still say that those people are a good type to be thinking of prospecting for your team, because you know they want the dream, right? Is it in a different one where she talks about? Yeah, that's the next one. Maybe I'll just move into that. And she has a whole book just called Be a Recruiting Superstar. This is just one chapter of her whole party plan book, but her whole recruiting book is amazing. But good habit number 2, exposing the gap between what people have and what they want. So that's what I was saying is like, if they have a dream, but they don't have the ability to pay for that dream. So people who have already tried direct sales, you know that they had a dream. They had a reason to want to try. Usually if they love the products, they just buy the products. If they tried to sell the products, they had a dream and they had a goal, and there was something in the way of them finding success with that. And you might be the difference. Your opportunity. They may have even sold Scentsy before on a different team, and they can reinstate for free under you if they've been gone for at least 3 months since rolling off. So 6 months of inactivity total. which I met somebody at the home show this weekend who actually joined before me. I told her that it's funny because I talk to my team all the time when I tell my story that there were 26 consultants in Nova Scotia when I joined Scentsy, and I've never met any of them. And my point when I tell that story and say it that way is that, you know, lots of people join and think that that's all they have to do is be one of the first people to join. And here I met one of those 26 people, and she had an upline that was out west as well, so she didn't feel like she had the support out here. And she went through some medical stuff in her life, and she had no idea that she could come back for free and not have to buy another starter kit. And I could see the twinkle in her eye, and I knew when to plant the seeds that this was something she loved doing. That's why she brought up telling me that she used to sell it. And her husband was standing there with her, and he was very much giving the same vibes off that, you know, she did it for a while and she really did enjoy it. And lots has changed since she quit. She didn't even know about the Grace Adele Velada time or the many things. I could tell it's been a while. But it was pretty cool. So I'm excited to follow up with her about reinstating in Scentsy with me as her sponsor. But like I said, even if they sold something else, there are so many stories of successful Scentsy people where their story says that they had sold multiple other companies and products to the point that their significant other was begging them to not try yet another one, and they promised that Scentsy would be the last try because something just felt different. I did other companies before Scentsy, not many, but I did. And so you need to have that belief, that strong belief, just like you need a strong why, that our company does offer something that people can find success with. Know what those are, so you're ready to tell that story and share that authentically and passionately with somebody. Good habit number 3, asking thought-provoking questions. So this is where she says, don't ask boring questions. And don't talk too much about yourself. This is how you get them talking about themselves, is the thought-provoking questions. Now, some of her examples that she gives do sound a little old school. You know, if you discovered $1,000 in your wallet right now, what would you buy with it? How different would your life be if you paid off debts? If you could change one thing about your job, what is the first thing you would do? But they're thought-provoking. They are helping people see those dreams and the gap between what they have and what they want. Good habit number 4, showing pride in your business. You cannot complain publicly about Scentsy and expect to build a team or sell your products, really, but especially build a team. You have to keep that stuff private with myself, your sponsor, your director, but not publicly. You need to be able to, and yeah, we're all going to have our times where we're frustrated with decisions that are made, but you need to be publicly showing pride in your business at all times if you want to build your team. But also what she's getting at in this is being ready with that answer. So many of us are guilty of saying, oh, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. Well, oh, I thought you sold Scentsy. Well, yeah, I sell Scentsy, but that's just like, you know, a thing I do on the side. What kind of vibe are you giving off when you say it like that? People who are prepared to say, I'm a small business owner for amazing home decor products that have completely eliminated the danger of a wick, a flame and a wick, but gives us the ability to fragrance our home. Whatever. I don't even have it prepared properly off the top of my head right now, but do you see what I mean? Confidently talking about yourself as a business owner is how you're going to attract people to wanting the same business, wanting a business like that. If you talk about it like a hobby, people are going to think it's just a hobby and not worth their time. Good habit number 5, sharing your business at every opportunity. Keep listening up for reasons why your prospect will benefit from your business. So just always, right? Don't be predatory, but if you have a relationship with this person and you see them on, just always be ready to say, Scentsy can help you with that. Someone who seems unsettled at work, someone with debt or cash flow problems, a friend or close relative that you want to do this together so you can travel and have that bond together. There's a whole bunch of other examples there, but you guys get the idea. Good habit number 6, keeping your message simple. Don't complicate matters by telling them more than they need to know. Don't discuss the compensation plan. PRV is super confusing to brand new recruits, let alone somebody deciding whether they want to sell Scentsy or not. You need to use the soft sell phrases like, this is a small business. and that they could do this part-time, that they can do it around their life, their other jobs. Don't talk about you can make this much money per party and all of that, like more that's the stuff that comes into play when you're training your new recruit. Good habit number 7, following up. Never leave prospects in limbo. Always have a next step in place. If they say yes, sign them up right away before they can talk themselves out of it. You need to get them, and they do better in their business if they get started right away while they're excited and passionate. It's really hard because I know lots of them want to ask their friends first, but I challenge you to be able to talk to them about why they want to do that. Is that because they still have some fear that they won't be successful and they need that promise from their friends that they're going to buy from them? That's when you reassure them that you're going to show them how that doesn't matter and how they're going to get sales and they are going to find success. Despite those fears. So trying to get them signed up as soon as possible while they're still excited, and try to book extra time or to follow up. Like, I'm going to give you a call. Maybe we can go for coffee. Here's a DVD you could watch, or go watch these YouTube videos about the Scentsy story, or not the Scentsy story one I showed you, although maybe that one's a good one, but the Discover Scentsy one on YouTube and stuff like that. Never give the impression that you're trying to force a decision out of them, though, because if you're more eager than them, that's going to scare them off. I love this. She says a great way to keep them interested but not pressured is to use a little reverse psychology by saying, now that you know what it's about, put the idea to the back of your mind for a few days. If you find yourself thinking about it, maybe we should talk some more. So you're letting them know, hey, this is about you, not me. You're reminding them of that. You should be meaning it when you say that and believing it, because it is about them, not you. That is how you attract people to your team. And that's why I say the first recruit's the hardest, because we seem more desperate, because we're still making it about us instead of about them. And always treat them with integrity. If they say no, thank them for their time. She suggests a handwritten note thanking them for meeting with you. That's a little old school, but at the same time, still kind of nice to get that stuff in the mail, right? So that is the good habits and bad habits for prospecting. And this was a long video, so there's no extra challenge other than just liking the video and making comments under the post if you want. If there's other good habits and bad habits that you know of that you want to share with everybody else, we love to see the sharing back and forth. But really, just watching this whole video and taking notes was your challenge for today. So have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.